This is going to be a tricky video to get through. Let's see how well I thread this needle. Don't worry, I'm a trained professional. One of these semi-regular objections I see from my audience when I talk about moving out of the collapsing Western world to a less bad country so you pay less taxes, live more free, and live more happy is, and it goes something like this. Oh, I can't move to this country. I heard they have this law that makes this illegal, so I can't move there. Now, before I continue, I gotta give this disclaimer. It's a disclaimer I've given before, especially in my books and my blogs. I do not condone, endorse, or recommend you do anything illegal. Follow the law wherever you are. In my main book, The Unchained Man, at alphamalebook.com if you want to check it out, I clearly state that you need to follow the law and do not break the law. I'm one of these guys who has someone do my taxes, then I pay someone else to double check that person's work to make sure I'm not breaking any laws, so do not break the law, follow the law wherever you are. I'm going to say that several times throughout this video to make sure none of you get any ideas. Now, I want to give you an example. I want you to visualize the United States prior to about 2017 or so, when it was illegal pretty much everywhere to smoke weed. Yet, everyone in the United States smoked weed, including people who smoked it outside. Police officers smoked weed. Everyone smoked weed, even though it was illegal. Everyone, and I mean everyone. Now, imagine if you had someone, let's say in Europe, who really wanted to move to the United States prior to 2017. And he liked smoking weed. And let's say you were an American visiting Europe talking to him. And he said that he wanted to move to the United States. And you said, well, why don't you move? And he said, oh, I can't move to the United States. It's illegal to smoke weed in the United States. So if I go to the United States, as soon as I pull out a joint, a bunch of cops are going to bust down my door and arrest me and throw me in prison for 30 years. You would think that person is a complete fucking moron, and you'd be right. Why is that person being a moron? Technically, yes, there is a piece of paper somewhere that says
people are not allowed to smoke weed if they smoke weed.
Yes, that is true. But is that law actually enforced? Can that law be enforced? Did police officers prior to about 2017, 2018 in the United States regularly bust down everyone's homes, invade their homes, rifle through all their stuff to see if there were any joints or bongs or weed in their house? No, they didn't, unless they were suspected of selling a lot of it and really pushing the fucking envelope. So that person saying, oh, I could never move to the United States because I smoke weed. It's illegal to smoke weed in the United States. That guy would be a goddamn moron, and you would have every right to say, dude, you're being insane. You're being a moron. What the fuck are you talking about? Everyone smokes weed in the United States, and they don't go to jail for it with rare statistical exception. Again, I will repeat, I do not condone, endorse, or recommend you doing anything illegal. Follow the law to the letter wherever you live. I live in Dubai. And up until just about 2 years ago, premarital sex was illegal in Dubai. It was technically illegal. That means there was a piece of paper somewhere in the government office that said people are not allowed to have sex unless they're married. And people actually said, many people actually said this, I can't move to Dubai. I have sex with my girlfriend. So if I move to Dubai and I have sex with my girlfriend, the cops will immediately raid my apartment and throw us both in jail for the rest of our lives. As I have said before, I challenge you to go online and do some research and give me the list of people who have been arrested in Dubai for having premarital sex when they did nothing else wrong prior to about 2 years ago when they did make it legal. Go ahead, I'll wait. Okay, the answer is virtually none. That is not how it works. That law not only is not enforced, I'm not saying they don't enforce it because they don't want to enforce it. How would they enforce a law like this other than putting a police officer in everyone's home and having them stand over everyone's bed all night to make sure they didn't have premarital sex? It's not an enforceable law, very similar to smoking weed. And if you really think that people in Dubai were not having premarital sex before a year or two ago, I'm not going to say anything publicly about this, but are you fucking high? Go back to the United States and smoke more weed where it's illegal. Again, I do not condone, endorse, or recommend you do anything illegal. Follow the law wherever you are, and I mean that. For the record, Dubai made it legal to have premarital sex about a year or two ago, so you're okay. But even before then, you were technically okay, and that's my point. There is a law now in Indonesia that says premarital sex is illegal. And I've seen at least 3 people on my channel say, I can't move to Indonesia. There's a law that says premarital sex is illegal. You dumb fuck. It is not enforced. Don't break the law. I do not condone, endorse, or recommend you break the law wherever you are. Follow the law wherever you are. I'm also telling you that just because a law is written down on a piece of paper in some government bureaucrat's office does not mean the government actually has the wherewithal, the ability, or the desire to actually enforce that law. Now, I'm going to give you a very important point about this. Before that, if you like this content, how to create location-independent income, move to a less bad country, or at least set up an international backup plan, and do all these things for very little money, you should subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell, put a like on this video, leave a comment on this video, and that way you'll be sure to get this content for free in the future. Here's a very important point about this, and I see this happen a lot too. As a matter of fact, I regularly get emails from you guys on my audience asking this question. Hey, Caleb, I want to get a second passport, but my country says that I'm not allowed to have a second passport. I'm only allowed to have one passport, so I guess I'm fucked. Wrong. Andrew Henderson of Nomad Capitalist did a very detailed study on this several years ago. The vast majority of the countries, and there aren't that many, but the vast majority of countries that say you cannot have more than one passport, at least 85% of them do not ever check and do not ever enforce it. And they have many, 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 many people in those countries who have 2 passports or more, and the countries don't care. Again, I do not condone nor endorse or recommend you do anything illegal. Please follow the law wherever you are. I'm also saying that most of these countries that say you can only allowed to have one passport and that's it, if you have any other passports, you have to renounce them and prove your allegiance to us, don't give a fuck, don't enforce it, and don't fucking care. A little while ago, I introduced a new term in SovereignCEO called LISG. LISG, low income smart guy. And I have found that a lot of LISGs use this as an example, as an excuse to not move to a country that they really want to move to, where they could live much happier, freer, successful, lower tax lives because of this law that's written down on a piece of paper and never enforced. This is a classic LISG excuse. Just because a law is written down does not mean it's enforced. You should not break the law, of course. I'm just letting you know that I know this is a shock if you're a LISG. The world doesn't actually run the way it's written down in your college textbook or in a government office's legal ledger or in an employee resources manual or various other things. There is what is written down and there is what occurs in real life. This is one of the many reasons why going to college is such a horrible idea, because you get this stuff in your head that whatever is written down is the way life really works. And it's not, particularly today. Again, do not break the law. I don't break the law. That is not what I'm saying. And if you think that's what I'm saying, you haven't listened to this video. What I am saying is pay attention to the world as it is, not the way it's written down somewhere. Cool? Cool. On that topic, if you want to know why you pay such high taxes living in the collapsing Western world, you really need to watch this video. It's one of the best I've ever done, in my opinion. Watch that video, and I'll see you in that video.